Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. Haha! My name is Autumn Fisher.
You got to start over.
Oh, I really liked it.
I don't.
What's happening? Should we reconnect?
No, I don't. It's probably my internet. I know they're throttling it. This is what these people do. Oh, you're gonna cancel the cable? You think you're gonna get away with this? No, we're gonna teach you a lesson. So you're keeping your internet with us. We know what you're up to because we spy on your every move, your every surfing habit, your every streaming, and we're gonna start slowing your internet down. And people think that this isn't happening, but I guarantee that it is.
Why don't you do a different internet service?
Well, that's the thing. I do actually have a choice. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people is like, this is the internet that serves you.
Right.
So I could switch, and maybe I will.
Yeah, give it away.
Who it is?
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Ooh.
Look, I didn't want to throw you. I do want to throw you under the bus because the service has been crap for years. This is what happened, by the way. You keep the cable, and then at the end of the year, the cable bill jumps up $85 because it's a little game that they play. Because you may not call because you don't want to deal with it, so you continue to pay the $85. But if you actually call and you say, hey, what is this? Why did this jump up? And then they say, well, if you add a phone line, we'll lower it all by $100. And you say that
landline.
Yeah, that makes 0 sense. Why? So you're giving me an extra service for $100 less. I don't want your landline. Nobody will call me on that. And they say, well, then I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do to help you. And then you say, okay, I'd like to cancel it all. And then they say, whoa, 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 whoa. I think that maybe we can do something here. I think we can figure something out. And then what do? They lower your cable bill by $50. And then another year goes by and the game restarts.
It's the same conversation with the same people. So what happened this time? You canceled the internet and they said, I'm sorry, you canceled your cable.
I was done with it.
Yeah.
I made the point of saying, I don't know why. It doesn't serve any purpose, especially the person you're talking to is not the person who really cares. They're collecting their paycheck. And they want to go home at the end of the day. But I said, this thing is out of control. As I get jumped up again, $80, and the year is up. I get things in the mail from you, things that don't know that I'm already a customer, and they offer me these new sign-up specials. So you're treating people who haven't been with you for years better than you're treating me. It's like you're offering.
Did you say that to the person, really?
Yeah, I said you're offering introductory rates for all the services for less than $100, guaranteed for 2 years, and then that runs out. And then what do? You shit all over the people who've been spending their money with you. So I'm done. I said I just want to get rid of the cable. No, are you sure? I was like, what am I watching anyway? What do you offer me that I'm watching? I watch Bar
you miss
Rescue.
Your Hoarders?
No. I don't miss any of it.
Good.
I don't watch as much news, which I feel is a healthy thing. I used to put on the news and stare at it and then feel like the world was crumbling and falling apart and
right. And then turn it on to protect your sanity.
Yeah.
Or turn it off, I mean.
And then the one thing is I just don't watch as many sports, which I also think is a healthy thing.
Okay.
I used to put sports on.
Yeah, I miss even though when I had it, I would just turn it on and flip around the channels. But I kind of miss that. Just flipping around, just looking for something. But I would never find anything. Or I mean, you might find the odd, like Vanderpump Rules marathon that you could sit and watch for a while.
It's like panning for gold.
Yeah, it really is.
Hey, there's so much shit here. So much.
Yeah, you'll find something.
Yeah, so much sediment. That it's
do you think you really got anything out of Bar Rescue?
No. Well, I mean, I would cry a bit sometimes.
You would?
Because
it saved their family?
Sometimes people, but you realize the show, it's reality TV. The whole thing's set up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that genuine emotion sometimes came out in people. But for the most part, you find how fake it is. And
yeah.
So Anyway, thank you for nothing, Spectrum. If you're listening to this,
Who's your competitor that you could get?
Cablevision,
Oh, weird.
Optimum.
Mm.
I think it used to be Cablevision, and that's probably outdated. And
Why can't you get like Fios or something?
Fios is all over New York except for my apartment.
I have Fios. Thanks, Fios.
Fios.
They're gonna give me $100 gift card soon.
Are they?
Yeah,
For what?
for signing up
Yeah.
and
See, look
being
at
with them for a certain amount of days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks. New sign up. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here, let's treat you well.
So just switch around constantly. Just go back and forth from different internet providers.
Fios says they'll come install it. They've got to have the infrastructure.
Of course, you should do it. Just call them. Be like, yo, help. Fios, help.
This was another thing, by the way. I bought my own cable modem and wireless router because I didn't want to rent theirs.
Yeah.
And they tried telling me that's not compatible. It's not and
Yeah.
I know that some aren't compatible. I made sure this one was. I put in the research, and then they tried to tell me it wasn't, and it became this big ordeal. They just turned the thing on. I see what the problem is. Okay. What a racket.
Yeah, I was going to say racket. What a racket.
Okay, let's try again.
Okay.
As they're listening in, and this whole internet connection's going to fail.
I hope not. Make it work. Make it work. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name. Match the pitch. Come on. Name.
I want to harmonize with it.
Is Greg Russ. Thank you.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Autumn. So, it's my week to choose a topic.
Oh.
And do you know what? Do you know what today marks? December 8th?
2019?
Yeah, but December 8th.
No, what is it?
It is the 1-year anniversary of our first One Topic recording.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, I caught you off guard. You didn't know that, right?
No, I didn't.
That was such a
Honestly, I didn't
natural
know.
reaction.
That was my natural reaction.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe you're not a good actor. I always thought you would be,
No, I'm real bad.
which is strange to me.
Give me a line to say and I'll try and be an actor.
I want you to say, "Oh, wow, it's really been 1 year." So let me lead you in. Hey,
Okay.
Autumn, do you know what December 8th is?
No, what is it?
It marks the 1-year anniversary from the first recording of One Topic.
Oh, wow, it's been a year already?
That was a little bit better than the way you delivered it the first time.
Yeah.
You could get there.
Ugh. Oh, wow, it's been a year already?
Yes, but here's a little catch.
Uh-huh.
We didn't actually release that episode until January.
Mm-hmm.
But we recorded it December 8th. And that was the beginning of this beloved podcast.
Our baby.
It is our baby.
I described it as like this podcast is is my baby, like the one that I care the most about.
Yeah.
That's not true. I care very much about the von Hessler doctrine, but this one is the one where it's like our creative outlet, and it's just ours, and it feels special for that
It's a
reason.
good opportunity for us to bond.
Yeah.
It's a special thing between us. You know, it's so precious to you that it's not even listed on your Facebook profile.
That's
Yes,
right.
I love this. This is my little child, One Topic.
You're right. And Twitter too, maybe?
And what's at the top of it? Radio Labyrinth.
I'm not even on Radio Labyrinth anymore.
Yeah. Unceremoniously kicked off Radio Labyrinth.
Yep. Not
And-
for any reason except the scheduling was too difficult for me to join all the time.
Anyone who's listening to this show who doesn't listen to Radio Labyrinth, I have nothing against it really, but
No.
smart choice. Stick with us.
No.
Well,
It's a totally different podcast.
there's limited space in people's lives for podcasts.
Definitely. Yeah, you only have time to really commit to like one, maybe two podcasts.
Yeah, if you want to listen to pop culture as if that's not being done everywhere else, then maybe
Greg,
you'll enjoy.
Stop it. They're
Maybe.
our friends.
But if you want to listen to two friends who care about each other very much, and they want to talk about the things that are on their minds, but they stick to strict guidelines, at one topic per episode, and you want to go on an emotional journey, then this is where you hang.
All right. I'm with you.
Yeah, so go change that Facebook profile.
All right. I'm sorry. But go listen to Ray Labyrinth because they're cool.
Wow! They also beg you for money. We don't. There's no begging here.
No, it's not begging. You get rewards.
What?
I forget.
What?
You get to come in if you're at a certain level. You get to come in and be a guest on the episode. You get to submit staff picks.
Okay, then you know what? We'll have someone. I'm putting it out there now.
Okay.
$10,000. You can come be a guest on one topic, and you can pick any topic you want.
You better watch out. Daniel Pitts will agree to that. He'll scrounge up that money.
All right, fine. If someone wants to pay us $10,000 to be a guest.
Sorry, Daniel. I called you Danielle. Sorry.
Well, here's the way it's going to work. It's $10,000 plus the airfare and lodging to get us to Atlanta, because we would have to record in the studio down there.
And that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and a per diem for meals.
Oh, sure. Transportation. Yeah.
And a case of seltzer. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
What's that? Nothing.
So today's topic, which I still haven't mentioned, which is a new trend. Like I feel like when we do these shows, I lead us down this path before I even reveal the topic.
Okay.
It builds suspense.
Yeah, what's it gonna be?
Or annoyance. Just get the fuck to the topic already.
What is it, Greg? What's our topic today?
Well, we've already been discussing it. Today's topic is one topic.
Oh, because it's been a year.
It's been 1 year, and I kind of just wanted to look at our podcast.
Yeah.
Where we've been, where we are, where we're heading. The show almost never happened because I leaned into my avoidant tendencies.
Yeah.
I was scared out of my mind to try to do a podcast because I thought to myself, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
You're going to do a podcast? Everyone does a podcast. What's going to set you apart? And I realized nothing, really, ultimately. But that's okay.
Yeah, and what do you think, because we talked about doing the podcast, and you were into it, and then you had this feeling, right? This sort of, you were nervous about what it would mean to do the podcast and to feel like people should listen to you. What changed your mind? Like, what made you actually do it?
You?
Me?
Yes, because we had talked about it, and the day that we were supposed to meet up and discuss recording the first episode, I ditched you. Remember that?
Yes.
I ditched you.
Yeah. You think? I guess I wouldn't describe it as ditching me, but I appreciate you describing it that way.
It was a passive ditch. Like, I didn't ditch you for good, but we were supposed to meet up the night before we were to record the first show and run through things and kind of figure out what exactly we wanted to do, how we wanted to present it, the tone
We had a
of the show.
whole day free that we could have worked together on something to do with this podcast we were trying to figure out. And you kept yourself busy all day and all night.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to explain to you that I was having doubts about doing the show.
Right. So I bitched about you and how this is
Who did you
You know,
bitch? Who did you bitch about me to?
Travis.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I said, I forgot that, Greg and Eric can do stuff like this, where it's like, I have this idea of how things should go. I'm excited about something. And then they just kind of like, don't do it, like not really interested, whatever, I felt like it was almost like just being a guy, just like, well, I don't know, I'm just not doing it. Like I think in the past I have felt like a little less important when it came to your and Eric's friendship. Like I was underneath you guys, not exactly, not very far beneath, but you two had the bond together. I had the bond with Eric also, but when it came to the two of you, I was the third. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So
do people know who Eric is?
Oh, Eric von Hessler from the Von Hessler Doctrine. I'm sure people do.
But what's that?
It's a radio show on WSB in Atlanta that I am a part of, and so is Greg.
I just, we get some listeners from Japan.
I was going to say Japan.
I know, I like bringing them up.
Konnichiwa. So,
and maybe they don't know what the Von Hessler Doctrine is.
Yes, you can listen to that.
You're just comparing me to Eric, who's someone we've known for a while, who hosts this other radio show, which blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
And so I guess I was reminded of that dynamic, and I was like, oh, I forgot that like Greg can kind of be like this, like we had plans. Well, we didn't really have hard plans, but I guess I assumed that we had bigger plans, whatever.
Rightly so. See, you're doubting what you were thinking and feeling. Well, maybe they weren't. You're giving me a pass. I didn't deserve a pass. I also am sorry if you felt dismissed. I wasn't dismissing.
Yeah, I felt dismissed.
I wasn't dismissing you.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know that at the time.
I wasn't being thoughtful towards you.
So that night, I take a walk to clear my head, and I go sit at a bar.
To calm the rage.
To calm my rage, yes. And I wrote down a bunch of names for the podcast. And I started thinking about definitely not including your name in it, just in case you started it with me and then didn't want to follow through with it, or...
Then what would you have done at that point? You would have carried on alone.
No, I would have tried to get... Well, yeah, I guess I would have carried... I didn't want to carry on alone, but I guess I thought I would try and get people on.
Who?
Tim.
Who was... Okay. He already has Radio Labyrinth.
Yeah, and... bless him, but you want to talk about flake. He would never last. He would never commit to like the same day. And I can't say I'm any better with his show or with Labyrinth, because I couldn't hardly make it, near the end of my run, unfortunately.
Here's the thing. You got to feel ownership.
Yeah, exactly.
We own this show.
Yeah.
And so we care for it.
Right.
Radio Labyrinth.
That's why we're recording 2.5 hours before it's released instead of just skipping it, even though we're tired and I might be a little sick.
We release it at 2:30 in the morning, so that's it's late.
It's late.
You're getting a late jump on this.
So I wrote down a bunch of names. So I have a notebook that's just for our show. It has nothing else in it except for notes.
Let's get to that in a second, then. Let's just wrap this story up.
I'm sitting at the bar and I'm coming up with names for the show that don't include you.
Okay. So it's still tied in. Got it.
Yeah, so I'm writing them down in this notebook that I've got just for the show. And they're real bad names, like, it's all we've got.
Without Greg.
Yeah. One at a time. Take it on.
No Greg Russ.
Yeah. Unpacking.
You looking for Greg? He's not here.
Time is a construct, just because I really like that idea. I just wrote it down. Death is inevitable.
I mean, that could be. I think I could feel death is inevitable. It would have to be a limited run. Yeah. But I feel like I could at least do 6 months of that weekly.
Sure. Okay.
We could try that. You want to do a little spinoff?
Yeah. Death is inevitable?
Yeah. And just a special engagement.
Interesting. What do we talk about? Finality of life?
Yeah, death is inevitable.
I like that.
It would always, I guess a lot of times, no matter what the discussion is, it ties back to death with me. But that would just be...
Everything ties back to death. But we disguise it as a bunch of other things. See, we got to save it for our special edition podcast, Death is Inevitable.
Yeah, it could, or if we really wanted it could just be a one-topic episode.
All right, yeah, all right. Well,
death is inevitable.
So while I was there, I also wrote down a bunch of potential topics, and some of them we've done, and some of them we haven't, like eating meat.
Did we already have the idea for what the show format was going to be at that point? Had we decided on one topic? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe I wrote that. No, because I thought that. Oh, you're right. We didn't. No, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Because what did we want to say? No, you're right. I think we did figure it out. I think we did. Was it that night, though, that we figured it out? I hate this. I want to edit all of this
No,
out.
this
Me
is
hemming and hawing and thinking.
Well, you hem and haw, and you create that beautiful haw dress, and you hem it so it fits well. Okay.
Okay.
It's gonna be no editing here. That's one of the
All right,
things that
it's been
doesn't.
hemmed.
This is one of the things that doesn't happen on this show.
My haws have been hemmed. Go ahead.
We're not editing. So obviously we can get into this.
Okay.
You asked me why I decided to end up doing it, and because when I got back and talked to you that night, and I saw how disappointed you were in me, and you did feel dismissed, and I realized it was shitty of me to not, one, express myself and tell you that I wasn't avoiding you, or I didn't care about you. It was I just didn't know how to bring myself to do this podcast,
Right.
and I wasn't feeling confident about it. And so we had a beautiful discussion,
It was really nice.
which actually ended up, I feel like, kicking off the lot of the content on the show. We didn't know at the time, but we realized that we had a dynamic
Mm-hmm.
where we were able to discuss things openly and honestly, and then that's actually carried into the show.
Definitely. I think that night I didn't care really, or I guess I wasn't sure about what the podcast, how it was going to go, but I thought, oh, we can do this, because the way that you approached me, you knew that something was up. It was very late. It was like almost midnight, and you were totally willing to talk about it. You came in and you let me tell you wanted me to tell you what was wrong. You were like, go ahead, and it gave me the freedom to tell you exactly how I felt without you feeling attacked. So I was able to tell you how I really felt about it.
Yeah, because when you're also stating the truth, you can't really claim the other person's attacking you. It's like, yeah,
but you can feel attacked, because I'm saying, well,
yeah. If
I
you're
thought this was going to happen and this and that.
if you're unaware and out of touch with yourself, then you would feel attacked. But when you're thinking about, I know exactly what I did and I know what happened tonight.
Yeah, but
and-
people don't want to do that. People
What's-
don't want to admit that.
well, they're foolish.
Well,
Good
maybe
luck.
they just don't have the tools yet.
Good luck. Good. Have a great life is what I have
Listen,
to
what
say.
I'm saying is, I knew that. Oh, because then what you did, you listened to me,
Yeah. Wow. What a
And then-
concept. Wow.
and you explained how you had felt, and both of us understood the other.
because we understand each other.
Well, we understood each other, especially that night, and I felt like this is gonna work. This is gonna be great. Like this is gonna work.
That's what ultimately gave me confidence. I was like, all right, yeah, let's do this. That was a nice discussion that we just had.
Yeah.
And, I care about you, and I didn't want you to feel like it had anything to do with you. And I'm sorry that you feel like over the years that you were secondary and, other dynamics.
It's all right.
That was never the case. It was just,
It's okay. You and Eric had a special love.
it's just me being self-absorbed.
Well, we've known each other for a long time, so
That is true.
yeah.
So that was the reason. I said, all right, yeah, let's actually do this thing now.
Mm-hmm.
So I if you wanted to go through your notebook, I'm curious about some of those notes from a year ago. I know if you go back and listen to the very first episode
Yeah.
that we did, that you went through this notebook, but I don't remember what was in there. Because even though I listened to you that night, I didn't listen to you the next day.
Yeah. Just some interesting ones that I really do want to get to at some point, like eating meat, which I guess could be like vegetarianism, or veganism maybe. Because I wrote down I said not vegans, but people who don't eat meat but eat eggs and or fish. That's what I wrote down. Because I think it's interesting that some people can call themselves vegetarians but still eat fish.
Yeah, because
Or
fish are dumb.
Yeah, well, that's the point, is that I'd like to eventually talk about, not that they're dumb, but what is our
Actually, that's a
what is
topic.
our threshold?
That's a topic I would like to do. Fish are dumb.
Oh, okay. We could those would be more research based, which is something you want to start doing too.
And we'll get into that as we, take a inventory of the show.
Right.
up until this point. I have that on my list of things to talk about tonight.
Sitting alone at the bar, young versus old, woman versus man.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I don't know if that would fill a whole episode. Young woman, hey, what's up, baby? Old woman, hey, you got money? Buy me a drink.
Right.
Man, nobody's talking to you.
Yeah. They just assume that they're sad.
Young man is alcoholic. Old man is alcoholic.
Sweaters, jackets, hoodies, sweatshirts, coats, pullovers.
Then we've talked.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't want to say another word about it because we have to do that episode.
Okay, I would be willing to do that one, especially
Yeah.
since you indulged me and we did a whole episode on socks.
That's right. How/why we rebelled as kids and what are kids doing now. These are just like ideas that I had, not necessarily, that doesn't sound like a great title for one topic because especially, I wrote down stupid businesses,
Yeah, I'm all about stupid businesses.
Dippin' Dots.
Yeah,
Yeah. Smoothie King, bless their heart.
bless their heart.
Yeah, I mean, a Smoothie King, if you really,
Wait, why do they have a heart that deserves to be blessed?
because it's a fine thing to get, but you could drink like 2 sodas for some of those smoothies that you might get at Smoothie King.
Yeah,
But it's under the guise of like, this is healthy. It's made of fruit.
well, it's like these cereals, the ones that are presented. See, now we're getting into these topics, which
Yeah.
we don't need to do at this point because we need to save them. But something like Special K, that's a healthy cereal. So the one that's called Smart Start. Yeah, they're filled with so much sugar.
Right.
Something
Not so
smart,
smart.
about that start. It's
What did you call it? You changed its name.
It's fart something. It's something childish and dumb.
Smart end.
I called it Dumb
Smart
Fart.
finish. Dumb fart.
Smart Start. And I changed the name to Dumb Fart, which makes zero sense.
Yes, it does. I
No,
love it.
It doesn't. Oh, the opposite of smart, and then rhyming start with fart. Okay,
This
yeah.
is the exact same conversation we had that day that you brought this up on the show. The exact same conversation.
Yeah. So now we're repeating conversations.
Yep.
This
it's a
is where-
problem.
this is where
Hey, we're a year in.
Yeah, out of one topic, all the topics in the world. Wow, we could fill 52 shows. That was it. Then we ran out. We finished. There was nothing left.
So,
Remember,
I really- what?
remember early on though when I tried to implement some stupid game
yeah.
when we got off topic. You had to find a way to get back on topic.
I liked that. I thought that was a good exercise.
It was cheesy.
You think so?
I don't like gimmicks and games. I thought that maybe it could
wasn't
work.
really a game. I think it was more
Well, at some
we
point,
need help.
yeah,
getting back.
At some point, I thought I said something about there's points rewarded or punishments, and
Yeah.
what was I thinking?
Nobody kept score.
No,
It'd be like Clive, what's his name? Clive Barker on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Giving out random points for things.
yeah, we didn't need that.
No.
Cheesy,
Eh,
too cute.
I love that show.
Yeah, little puppies running around and the kittens with storylines that are just invented.
What was your favorite episode, do you think?
I was thinking about that,
Yeah.
and there are many that I like. It's too hard to pick because, we can start with this. Which we've done a couple types of shows. You got shows like Socks,
Right.
which are a little more inane and lighthearted. And then we've got everyday type of topics when we talked about summertime or road trips. And a lot of people can relate to that. I know people can relate to Socks too, but Socks is more of a test for myself and us, a challenge to see if we could fill an hour with enough content that was interesting on such a mundane topic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way to, in my mind, gain trust with the audience. And think, well, if we can do that, they'll listen to any episode that they see. And then we have the real, more, I don't know how you want to describe them, but, we become emotionally vulnerable and expose ourselves
Yeah.
and the things that we do that maybe aren't always portraying us in the best light, or just being real, not presenting false images of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like those shows. I think that's a strong point for us.
Yeah.
I think that some
Like
of those
coping mechanisms.
yeah, I think some people may look at those and that's not their cup of tea.
Right.
Maybe they don't want that. Some people just want some raunchy talk.
Yeah. I like Theft.
Theft was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Theft had a good arc to it. Like it traced stealing at different stages in life and what drove
Right.
them and why it happened. And sometimes I would like to implement that a bit more into our episodes instead of just. I know it's a conversational show, and it doesn't need to have so much structure to it. But I do like when we follow a thread of some sort. Like
Yeah.
we get off, but there's a red thread that runs throughout the show.
Let's try the next one we do. Let's try and make it like that.
Well, we're good at it sometimes. The one that we did recently that was yours, the self-care
Humor. Oh, self-care.
and indulgence.
Right.
Because
Yeah, that one was great. I felt like I feel like there was a little bit of a breakthrough with that one.
well, yeah, I mean, I think you were very open and honest with that one. And it had a theme that we kept returning to, which I forget,
Yeah.
where
It was my bullshit self-cares. And then we started figuring out what I actually needed, and so you were replacing those as we discovered what those things were.
yeah, where real fulfillment in life comes from.
Yeah.
And there was
That was unplanned. Like you did that as we went, and I thought it was great.
yeah, and I think that we need to lean more into that stuff. There's, I feel like there were some shows. We did the airports one recently, and it was fine.
But we forgot a bunch of stuff. The same with hotels.
I feel like
Don't bring up hotels.
well, airports and hotels, I feel like we're all over the place. Airports, I know we're discussing things, but I like to follow a path of some sort. And in
Yeah.
airports, we tried. It's like, all right, so this is the journey to the airport, and let's just go stage by stage.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't feel as cohesive as
Right.
I wanted it to. Hotels was that was sorry, Autumn, but that was you derailing that one a bit.
Yeah. I forget what had happened. Why was that one so messed up?
I think we got way off topic at some point.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we discussed.
Yeah, we forgot a bunch of stuff when it came to that one.
Well, this is something that we should do.
Mm-hmm.
Is try to map out a rough path to follow. We don't have to
Right.
stick to it.
Yeah.
But if we know where we start and we know where we want to end up
Yeah.
at the end of the show.
Especially when it comes to stuff like that. When it's the more like heady topics, then those we can find the goal, we can find the thread in it. But when it comes to not sillier, but like less, a little more frivolous topics, maybe we should have a better idea of where we're starting and where we're ending.
I do, yeah. I like the cohesion that
Uh-huh.
brings to the show.
Towels.
Sure. If we can figure out a way.
Yeah.
And again, you bring up Theft, and I really liked Theft because I went
you
in.
really like Theft.
Well, I had an idea going in of, where I wanted to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at our episodes now. Home Alone's still a weird anomaly to me. It's the second episode ever. So it's really the first episode that was on any topic, because
Yeah.
the first episode was just us talking about what we were even going to do with the podcast.
Yeah. I loved the Home Alone episode.
I did too, outside of the technical crap at the beginning.
Yeah, but I also liked
Meaning
The-
the technical difficulty. Like the
The-
recording had some clicking in it.
right, but it's fine. It's early. And even now, I mean, we're only a year in. There's a lot of podcasts that don't sound as consistent as we already do, technically, and maybe like format wise. for a couple of years. So,
No, I agree with that.
yeah.
I mean, we have some experience in radio, and this can help, but
And I'm very grateful that we have consistently put out an episode every single week.
then we haven't missed one.
No,
I think it's very important.
me too. I think it'd be very easy for one of us to get like a little bit lazy, and be like, I can't. Like we've had a lot of scheduling things that we've had to adjust, but we've never missed a week.
Well, even this, it's late
Yeah,
on a
I want to
Sunday.
go to bed.
But it's important.
Yes,
I did
it
float
really
the
is.
idea quickly. As what if we released it a day later than normal? Would that really matter? And you immediately, no, we're not doing that.
I know I can't.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. So I'm glad that we didn't do that. And I don't even think I would have done it either. But if you agreed with me, maybe that I was just testing
Yeah.
the waters a bit.
Yeah,
No, Home Alone we could do more like that. It's funny. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I was a little worried with Home Alone just because it was the first episode where we were focusing on one topic.
yeah.
But I liked the way it came out.
I do too. I loved the fake Home Alone that we made up. Remember where Kevin, what was it? Was no Buzz had inherited the house, and Kevin comes like he's a deadbeat now, and he's sort of kicked out of the family, and he comes back to rob the house. Right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Okay,
oh wait, no, maybe it was the other way around.
here's
No, it wasn't. No. Kevin was the robber because he knew all the tricks that Buzz was going to set for him, all the traps.
here's the thing. I never go back and listen to the shows.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't-
going back. Everyone's like, I'll listen to.
I'm
the
glad you
latest
do.
one.
And like
Yeah.
what you're talking about, I wish I actually remembered doing that. That's another thing I like when we come up with hypotheticals.
Me too.
And so that's something when you're creating scenarios that are outrageous and ridiculous. That's something we should do a bit more too.
I think so too.
Because this idea, the Home Alone, even though they're Home Alone 3, it's just making me think of coming up with new Home Alone concepts, and that concept is so much better than Home Alone 3,
Yes, so much better.
which
Home Alone 3 is a hot pile of shit.
and then moving, the grocery store. I feel like I don't remember if that one.
Oh, I was in a different place back then mentally
What do you mean?
during grocery store because I felt like the grocery store was an escape. It's like if I could go to the grocery store by myself and I could just be in the grocery store and I could look. I remember this feeling of like I can just look at the labels and figure out the price per unit and which one's cheaper to get, like I was real excited to think about being at the grocery store by myself.
And I was real worried about you after that you're looking for peace of mind and labels and
Yeah.
barcodes.
Yeah, I was searching.
And then
A lot has changed during this year.
yeah, I mean, look, this is also in a weird way a diary. Like I know we do the show and there's an audience and we're doing the show for the audience, but a lot of times I as we're doing this, it's just me and you having a conversation.
Mhm.
And coping mechanisms was the first show that I felt like was really vulnerable
Yeah.
and opening up. And
I think that if we did coping mechanisms today, I think we would have a completely different episode.
I yes, the amount of change
Yeah.
since February 3rd when that show was
Interesting.
released.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting.
It's not really a diary, it's like a time capsule.
At some point we should revisit some of these and
Mm-hmm.
compare and see how things have changed. But that was one of the first shows where opened up like that. It's like, oh, we're really going to go down this path. It's not just going to be this goofy thing where we talk about things like I'm looking through these, and there was a run here of some shows that actually are a little deeper than others. I mean, just looking at these, I liked Money. I liked Embarrassment. Neighbors. I had good stories.
Aging. I think there was an aging one or Vanity. I liked Vanity.
Needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I had no clue what I needed at that point.
Yes, you did.
I didn't really know. At that point, I was still in denial that I had any needs.
Yes, you. No.
Yeah.
A year ago?
Oh, mate, it says right here. Greg is in denial and capable of admitting he's an animal. There's nothing. That's.
But that's your that's your projected persona. That's not. You knew your needs.
Hygiene. Like the way I'm just avoiding this. I just.
Yeah.
Real. Hygiene. I think. We don't need to run through each show. It's just
No,
you asked
but
me
it's
what
interesting.
you asked me what my favorite show was, and I like the range that we've got going on here. Hygiene was a pretty disgusting show, and even if it wasn't emotionally vulnerable, we really put ourselves out there so people could look at this and say, "Whoa, wow,"
Yeah.
revealing some of our grossest habits.
Or they were like, I am Spartacus.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get with these people.
Yeah.
I hope it does connect with a lot of. Yeah, I'm like that too.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. Ultimately, if I can get some people to relate,
Yeah.
that's the real. Whether or not it's on a deep level and a level, when I talked about my drug use, and that could be helpful for someone. And as scared as I was to talk about it as openly as I did that time on that episode, in my mind it's like, well, if someone else can listen to this and get something out of it and know they're not alone in this, then it's totally worth it.
I wonder what maybe our show does a little bit of disarming people. Not to say that people are armed, but it just makes them feel comfortable because maybe we're revealing something vulnerable when we do those, more in-depth type of episodes. And so it makes them, maybe it endears us to them, or like you said, it makes them feel less alone. And I think that I would much rather get that from people than, I don't know, have billions of downloads or something of people who are just like, yeah, I like it. Yeah. I feel like it's meaningful. I think the fact that it's meaningful is important to me.
I'm with you, but then you said you'd rather have that instead of billions of downloads, and I was like, well, I feel like I'd like.
I guess maybe I don't know. What if I said millions?
I'd still like millions of downloads.
Well, I'd like it. Well, I guess what I'm saying. Okay. What I'm saying is that I'm very grateful that the number of downloads we have, when we get feedback from people, it does seem to be that people connect with what we're saying, or even just like how the two of us communicate.
Well, this on my notes for this show, I think one of the things that does work best is our communication and chemistry. It does seem to be something people point out.
Yeah.
Which I'm even through doing the show, and I've known you for a long time, and I knew we got along, but this is certainly something that's brought us closer together.
We had never, for as long as we'd known each other, we'd never sat down and looked at each other and talked for this amount of time.
No, and to realize that we are capable of doing it, and again, this goes back to that first night before we even recorded.
Yeah.
Which instilled confidence in doing the show. But that was something I'm very happy about. It's we're much more alike than I ever knew. Also.
Yeah. Surprising.
I always thought we were very different.
Don't you think we're opposite sides of the same coin?
Yeah, that's ultimately, same
we're both coping. We've both found coping mechanisms for the same, for similar things, but just come up with ways to cope in different ways.
Yes.
And then experiences, like you talked about, like not liking sleeping over places. It's like, me too. I always went home.
Yeah, sleepovers stink.
Weird.
I had zero interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff is nice, but I think that ties into certain approaches and views to the world.
Right.
That
Yeah.
it's like, oh wow, you think the same way, except you handled it by expressing yourself constantly and all your feelings, and I handled it by not doing that at all
Right.
until then we started doing the show. Now people are like, shut up, P.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to say the word.
Pussy.
Hey, hey.
Hey, I was just quoting the pretend person calling you a pussy.
That's a hey. Now you're putting the inflection on it.
Pussy.
Yeah, some people probably do think that. Whatever.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen to the show. That's fine.
Oh yeah.
They want
Whatever.
some different type of talk. There's other shows for that. Maybe some people aren't into this, into real talk, into facing yourself for what you are.
Well, this show's helped me get in touch with who I really am, and versus versus the person I either try to be, or the person that I
Thought
never
you
would
should be.
Yeah. The kind of person that, like, you say you're a certain way, and then the your feet are held to the fire, or you're questioned about why you might say you're that way, or why you might feel something that you're saying that relates to who you've always sort of thought you were. And it's like, oh, I guess I really don't have an explanation. I've just always been this way. But that doesn't mean you are that way. This is something that I'm dealing with. I've thought about a way that I am, but I never checked back in with myself to think, is this really still the way I am? Or have I grown and changed? Or, does this situation make me think maybe I don't feel like this anymore? There's just these things that I think almost like this is a therapy session every week, a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, if we present it that way, though, it could turn off a lot of people. But it is an exercise
Not
in
therapy. Yeah, yeah.
it's an exercise in self-discovery.
Well,
And,
connection with another person.
yeah, and that's a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
That wasn't the point, but it surely is something that came out of it.
Yeah. I hope what I said makes sense. Did I make sense just now?
I know what you were trying to say.
I know. Do other people know?
Maybe they don't.
Sorry.
That's another thing you can practice on for the next year.
It's late. I'm tired.
Expressing yourself a little more clearly.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
Oh my god. I was like, oh my god.
I know. You just express how you're tired, and I go for it. Hey, Autumn, you're really stinking it up. No,
Oh god.
people understand.
Okay.
That's one of the things. What can we work on with this show?
Uh-huh.
And I just told you that's what you can work on.
Expressing myself. I'm sorry.
No,
Me no talk good.
some of the things. I think of the trains episode, which one I didn't express really where I wanted to go with it. Greg likes trains. That in itself, just talking about how I like trains, I didn't think could carry a whole episode, but I wanted to get into facts.
Right.
And I don't know if this is something we should do in the future when we're doing topics that maybe are a little lighter,
Uh-huh.
but are interesting and have interesting backstories and histories and facts tied to them.
Okay.
And I would like to. It's a strange thing for me to do because I'm not an authority on anything at all. I'm just a person who has some thoughts. And I don't think I'm an expert. And maybe that's something that, you said the show, hopefully some people find it endearing. I hope that if anyone does feel that way, it's because we're not coming out saying we know what's best. Listen to us. It's like, I don't know. I'm just
Right.
some goof.
Or showing vulnerability, right? By coming up with a topic like that and not presenting it like, yeah, the number blah blah blah, and sort of faking our way into this sort of show by giving like a false experience. We're just honestly talking about something that we're interested in.
I would like, though, to incorporate, I think, a bit more facts and interesting stuff into the shows, if possible. I don't want to force it.
No, and we wouldn't force it. We wouldn't talk about it that way. It would be brought up naturally, and we would say, hey, there's a cool thing that I found,
It's going to be an opinion-based show.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But working that in while keeping that as our foundation, I think is a way to expand a bit.
Okay.
And it opens up the door for a bit more topics. While you think it's easy, there are endless topics in the world, right?
Yeah.
But it's something, while I'm not claiming to be an authority on things, it's something I need to have enough opinions on in order to talk about. And sometimes I think I avoid topics because I don't feel like I can fill it. But if we can work in some other cool information.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, okay, so for the coming year, we're going to work on, for the more like frivolous topics, we'll have an A and a C, and the B we can do, as we go. And maybe with some of these topics, we'll come up with a little peppering of research,
which works its way in at times.
It does.
And
sometimes on the fly.
Yeah, I on the fly, I guess, if we're holding information or if we look it up quickly. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So not just opinions, blah, blah. We already talked about that. Guests. We've only had one guest so far, and that was Lucky Yates.
I do want more guests. It's hard because we're not in the same city, and it's difficult to... I mean, I guess we could figure out a way to get someone. We just need to make it happen.
It can happen.
Yeah, we should do it.
And I think we picked the right guests.
Yeah.
And again, the rule with guests is we're not going to... If they have one thing to plug, they can.
Of course.
But it's not going to be talking about what they're working on. The guest comes in.
It's not an interview.
The guest picks the topic, and then we just go from there. And I like that.
Lucky Yates, when he picked sandwiches. I loved that episode.
I did too. And I think that's a really cool way to handle guests on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can get, at some point, names of people that people recognize, and then they're just talking about something that people haven't heard them talk about before, instead of the same generic crap that they go on other shows and discuss, that could be a real selling point.
Yeah, I'm into it. I want to do it.
And growing the show. I just suck at social media.
Don't you want the show to just grow naturally?
Yeah, but that requires people sharing it. Who's sharing anything?
People might be sharing. People might tell other people about it.
I mean, if they do, great. Please, if you like the show, this is every podcast out there says this.
Yeah.
But tell people about it. Because I sure as hell am not going online and shamelessly promoting it. That's still one thing that I have difficulty with. That's why I didn't want to do the show in the first place, because it felt shameless. Who do I think? And then I'm going to go out there and post it. Sometimes I do, but rarely. And you've done a good job, putting content on the Facebook page. And
thanks. Every once in a while.
Yeah, but you care a little bit more about doing that. And I appreciate that. I don't want you to feel as though, that's lost on me.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Greg.
I enjoy doing the show with you. So
I love doing the show.
Yeah, it's something that, we quite
with
often. Well, you're still.
I left it out, but I felt like someone listening would hear it and be like, she didn't say it.
No, you're overthinking that one.
Yeah.
If anything, I thought it was funny because you were talking about making plans to move forward with the show without me.
Yeah.
So
I love doing the show.
It's still there. It's still there in your mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we stand. We've made it a year. Almost a year. I mean, if you count when we released this, the first show, it was in January.
For us, it's been a year.
It has. It's been a year since we recorded the first show. We'll bring up some more of the sexual topics because those are always the most downloaded.
Yeah.
Most downloaded breasts.
That's still the most downloaded?
And talking about sex.
Fetishes.
It's this most obvious stuff.
Yeah.
especially because you're on here. If
Yeah.
it were two dudes, I don't know if those would be. Maybe look, it's still.
They're not going to be as appealing.
No,
Yeah.
like breasts probably caught people so off guard because we didn't actually talk about. In my mind, people are like, Autumn's going to talk about her boobs. Can't wait to hear, but she's going to describe the shape of them
Yeah.
and the nipples.
The weight.
Yeah, I don't know what people expected.
We're going to do a live water displacement test on live to tape.
That one was actually a bit more scientific. Like
It was. That's right.
We stuck to the science of it, and I don't know if people were probably bonobos came up.
Oh, the famous bonobos have become like a thing now.
They're everywhere.
The sexiest of apes.
Yes. Wow, they just go at it.
They do. They love it.
Bonobos. Yeah, you tune into an episode called Breasts, and you don't expect to hear about ape boobs.
When you think about bonobos and what their genitalia look like, I can't make heads or tails of it. It's so big. It's such a big, swollen, but firm looking area. I can't figure out what bonobos are up to.
And that's what people got. Surprise, most downloaded episode. And that may have hurt us ultimately because people got pissed. That's not what I
Yeah.
wanted.
I wanted to hear talk about her tits.
I wanted, Autumn. Take it off, Autumn.
Woo!
Take it off.
But yes, I think this podcast has done a lot for my mental health. I feel like it's been a little, I'm going to say journey, so shoot me. It's been a little bit of like a journey of self-discovery for me. And I'm so happy that we do it, and I want to keep doing it.
We are going to keep doing it.
Okay, good.
We lean on each other. We work through things.
Mhm.
And every once in a while we talk about stupid things like socks.
Which I'm very happy about.
Salt will be the next big one.
Ooh, I have opinions.
On salt?
When it rains, it pours.
Okay, this is what you have to look forward to in 2020. There's a whole episode on salt. And
All right.
we will get to that.
Thanks everybody for being with us. For us, it's the year. I guess I'll say thank you for being with us for a year. We love you guys. Like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Yeah, smash it.
Hey, you guys.
Fetishes.
Rate.
Fetishes. I want to hear Autumn talk about smashing.
Yes, smashed. Oh, smash that like button.
Oh, yeah.
Rate and review us because Greg likes to see those numbers go up, and share us with your friends. If we're out on all the podcast things at One Topic, and if we're not on a podcast, I don't know, device type thing that you like, let us know so we can get on it because we want to get on that shiz. Okay.
Give us $10,000 and you can be a guest on the show.
Oh, that's right. Plus the airfare, plus per diem.
Yes.
Plus lodging.
And lodging. That's
Yeah.
all it will take.
Hey, Greg,
Hey, Autumn.
do you like hot sauce?
You know, I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. You know, a lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. Maybe even, and I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. You know, bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients,
What?
0 fillers,
Huh?
additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hop Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
Hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code ONETOPIC15.
Hold on, that's
Yes, get a pen and paper.
1 topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC 15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.